Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Soram if you don't know me, and I do hair videos here on my channel as well as many other types of videos. But today I am going to be doing some hair, and I wanted to film some of it and show you guys how I like to do it. So I'm going to do some highlights and a haircut. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and let's get started. So I am going to start her haircut with just wet hair. I did her color and her highlights before I started this part, but I forgot to film that, so I just filmed the haircut. So I'm just using my wet brush. It is literally the best brush out there, especially for wet hair, but I use it on like even dry hair. It's that good. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of product into her hair before I even get started with the haircut. This actually helps the hair be a little bit like easier to work with, easier to part. So I used some very light hold gel. It's from Euphoria and it's called Sculpture, and then I mixed that with a little bit of the shine spray, and that really like makes the hair really smooth. It's a really good combination. I love using those two together, and it smells really good. So I just put that all over her hair, and then I'm gonna go ahead and part her. So I asked her where she usually parts it, and she kind of parts it off to the side a little bit. So I had her kind of like finagle it and get it to where she usually parts it, and that's where I am gonna be cutting from. So if a person likes to part their hair kind of like all over the place, like one day it's in the middle, another day it's on the side, then I would just go off the center part. But since she always parts it from the one side, then that's where I'm gonna cut. So for today's haircut, I'm actually doing an angled bob, so it's gonna be shorter in the back and longer in the front. And we went through this whole thing in the consultation. She told me exactly what she wanted. So I am gonna be parting her into 4 basically, and I am starting in the back as always, and I did a 45-degree angle part in the back, and that is how you're gonna get the angles. So it's all about the angles with this kind of haircut. So I am starting right in the center of the part and just doing a straight across for that small section, and then from there I am gonna take the rest of the part, or the rest of the section rather, and angle it towards the back of the head. So at a 45-degree angle towards like the back center, and that's what's gonna create the shorter pieces in the back, and then it's gonna go forward and be longer in the front. So you can see here I pulled that kind of over, directed that over at a 45-degree angle, and just cut that. So you can see that it is definitely a lot longer in the front towards her ear. So I did this basically to all the sections in the back, and I like to take the smaller sections when doing these kind of haircuts because these are very precise, and if you take big sections you could kind of lose your guide and it could turn into a mess. So I like to take small sections and really get it to be perfect. So there I'm just showing her like how much hair I cut off the center back, which is about 7 inches I cut off the back. Her hair is really long, so with this it's gonna make it actually seem a lot fuller. So she felt like she had a little bit, like it was just getting a little thin towards the bottom. So with this kind of haircut, your client is gonna have it's gonna feel like they have so much hair. So I am just gonna fast forward the section because I basically do the same exact thing to each little section that I take from the back. Again, parting, making those parts at a 45-degree angle from like the above the occipital bone all the way at a like 45-degree angle to the ear, and I keep doing that until I have all the back sections done, and then we will move on to the front. So once I am done with the back section, I like to kind of zhuzh the hair so it's not so flat, and I let her feel it, look at it, touch it, and let me know how she's feeling about it. I like to do this a lot with my clients so that we have like open communication during the whole haircut. Sometimes, you know, clients or stylists like to kind of just do the whole haircut and then get some feedback from their client, but I like to give feedback like during every step of the haircut. This really helps me a lot, kind of figure out what they want and make sure that I'm doing exactly what they want, because I don't want to finish a service or a client and then have them not be happy with it. So I like to do that. So for this front section, I am starting off with angled parts again. Everything is about angles with these kind of haircuts, and just at a 45-degree angle I made that first part, and I over directed that back so that it's longer in the front. So it's all about your angles and your over direction, so it's like at a good angle. So again, I did that first part and I'm talking to her, letting her see the hair and making sure that I'm understanding exactly what she wants. So once we talk about it a little bit more, then I go in and finish the rest of that side front section, and you can see that it's a lot longer in the front, and that is what she wanted. So I'm going to do the other side, and once I'm done with that, then I'm going to go in and add some layers to the back and kind of make it a little bit more elevated. So to add layers, I am just combing her hair back and kind of not having the part be so like far back. So I combed it out at the top there, and then I'm just grabbing basically some random vertical sections and just basically trimming off like the top where it's getting like, it's like too long. So I go in, I grab that section and I cut again at a little bit of an angle, and I'm just kind of feeling it. This again, with these kind of haircuts, you have to kind of feel for it and see where there's too much hair, where you could feel like there's a weird angle in the haircut. So that is basically what I'm doing. I'm just cutting and moving it around and seeing how it feels and making sure that there's not too much weight at the back where you know, where it's supposed to be nice and airy and fluffy. So I am basically done with the haircut at this point, like as much as it's going to be when it's wet. So again, I'm adding a little bit more product. This is just a smoothing balm. Again, this is from the brand called Euphora. I love this brand. It's like really good for your hair. It's like natural. It doesn't have a bunch of this like crap that other products have. So I'm just putting that all through her hair because I am going to be blow drying her straight, and I am going to give her some fun little curls so she could really see the shape of the haircut. So she also loves to have a lot of fullness and like volume in the top of her hair, so I'm adding like a really fun styling mousse just into her roots, so nowhere else, just into the roots, because I don't want to get too crazy with the product. But really quickly, I'm going to like rough dry her hair so it's not so wet. This is a trick that I love to do when I'm doing clients because it really makes the actual like blow dry with the brush go much faster because the hair is not so wet. You know, you don't have to go over it so many times. So I'm just rough drying her. Make sure I'm pointing the blow dryer down so she doesn't get frizzy. And then I'm going to go in with a large round brush, and I'm just parting her a little bit, like really rough part, just so I don't have like hair in my way. I always like to make sure that I'm parting everything and keeping everything nice and clean because it's easier for me when I can see like what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna part her into 3 sections and do the back all at once. So I'm just going to take my round brush. This is a medium-sized round brush. I didn't want to go too big or too small because I didn't want to give her a curl with the brush. I wanted just to straighten her out so she could see it and make sure it's dry, and then I'm going to curl it. So once the hair is completely dry, I like to again let her kind of feel it, let her touch it, and this is where I go in and kind of touch up the haircut. So I love doing this. Again, this makes my clients feel like, you know, they're like #1. So I go in and I'm just breaking up the line at the back and the bottom, and I'm just using my shears and I'm point cutting and just making sure that everything is nice and even and perfect and pretty. And then once I'm done with that, I'm actually going to go in with my thinning shears and just go at her ends. So when I'm doing my thinning shears, I like to use them like if I was giving her layers. So I'm going to take vertical sections with my big comb here, and you see how thick it is right there. Like I'm trying to comb through it, and it's just like so thick. So I'm going to take my thinning shears and at an angle, like if I was giving her layers, I'm going to go in and thin her out a little bit. And I go a little bit like heavier with the thinning shears on this section because these shears in particular are notched on both sides. So both sides of the blade have you know, spaces in them, which makes it the thinning shears. So I kind of have to go a little bit harder with these. Most of the time thinning shears are just notched on the one side and then the other side is just a flat blade, but these are notched on both sides. So I kind of have to do a little bit more. So usually if I had the other pair of shears, then I would just do once or twice, but with this I kind of go a little crazy with it, just to thin her out a little faster because these shears, you know, make the job a little harder. But I love these for smoothing, and it doesn't give any crazy lines in the hair because it's so thin. Oh, fuck. Now that I am done with the haircut and it's completely dry and it's ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and curl it for her. She usually uses a curling iron, but I like to use my flat iron. I love curling with a flat iron. You get such a different kind of curl with it. So I wanted to show her what her hair would look like with it curled. So this is another important part of the consultation. I like to always ask my clients how they usually wear their hair. So if she, actually my client here, she likes to wear her hair curly basically every day. So I wanted her to see how it would look curly in case she wanted to change anything, because the goal is to have your clients always be happy, and that's why I ask so many questions. That's why, like, during the haircut I actually like have them touch and feel and look and make sure everything is going well, because I just want my clients to be happy and to feel their best. So I don't want her or anyone to ever leave and, you know, not be happy with their haircut. So I'm just curling it for her. I showed her kind of some techniques, and I kind of gave her a little tutorial, mini tutorial on how to actually curl it with a flat iron. So then I'm just going to zhuzh it and give it a little bit more volume at the root. And yeah, so that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to let me from the past do the outro. So that's it. So that's going to be it for these hair videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any more. I post videos every week. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in our next one. Bye!